Manny Pacquiao is back. He is back, but who is next? We get into all that and all of this weekend's actions next. Please help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Champion. Lots of action to get into today. We start with Manny Pacquiao destroying Lucas Matthysse, dominating from the opening bell and stopping him for good in the 7th round, scoring 3 knockdowns on the way to capturing the WBA regular strap, as well as ending his 9-year knockout list streak. So we finally get a knockout for the first time since 2009 when he knocked out Miguel Cotto. What a performance for Pacquiao, showing off the speed, footwork, and combination punching that made him legendary. A great win that puts him back in the thick of things and guarantees us at least one more big-time Manny Pacquiao fight. If he would have lost to Lucas Matthysse, he's still a novelty. He would have, potentially went on to fight some more, but there would be no more big-time Pacquiao fights. With the win and the performance he gave us last night, we get at least one more big-time Manny Pacquiao fight. Who do y'all think it will be against? Let us know below. Let us know who you think Pacquiao would fight next. Let us know who you think he should fight next, right? Who he will and who he should are two different things. We're going to go over a couple of names on some possible opponents. We'll get into all of that, but leave us a comment below. Let us know what you guys think. Should it be any of the top guys at 147? Should he fight Lomachenko? But let's get into all that. Let's get real. Pacquiao proved that he could still be a threat to anyone in or around the 147-pound division. Anyone from 135 to 147, everyone in those 3 weight classes wants a piece of Manny Pacquiao. He showed the power, speed, footwork, combination punching. It's still all there. It's not what it was, it's not what it used to be circa 2008, 2009, 2010. It's not the whirlwind of offense that we saw against Margarito or Oscar or Cotto. It's not that. It's not this awesome, unbelievable whirlwind of punches, offensive brilliance that we've seen, almost a decade ago. But he still has plenty left, right? This is not a used-up fighter. The B or B-plus version of Manny Pacquiao is still a really good fighter. He's still a massive draw. He could give Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, or Sean Porter real problems. And I'm being serious. There's some gas left in that tank. Now, we think he could be anyone at 147. We really do. Besides Bud Spence, besides Bud Crawford, and Errol Spence. Anyone besides those two, we think that he could beat. The athleticism is still there. The speed. A guy like Danny Garcia, he's just better than. A guy like Sean Porter is tailor-made for him. Keith Thurman would be a really, really interesting fight. That's the fight that we would love to see. They both have some version of the WBA title. Now, who knows what the WBA does? They have the WBA regular world champion. They have the WBA super world champion. They have the WBA toilet bowl champion, the interim champion, the Cup of Noodles champion, the Chick-fil-A champion. There's so many WBA champions that there's almost no one who doesn't have one, but Pacquiao has the WBA regular championship. Thurman has the super champion. If Keith one-time Thurman isn't retired, and perhaps he is, perhaps he's done fighting, we don't know, a fight with Manny Pacquiao would not only make sense to unify those two and see who the real WBA champion is, but it'd also be a great fight. We want to get into a few options, but if you were impressed with Errol Spence, keep this in mind. Errol Spence became the boogeyman of the 147-pound division when he destroyed Lamont Peterson. Well, what Manny Pacquiao just did is even more dominating against an even better fighter than Peterson. Matthysse, not that long ago, destroyed Lamont Peterson. This is a better win than anything Spence has done this year, and it's at least as good, if not better, than anything Crawford's done this year. I'm not saying he would beat either of those two guys. I'm saying his win is better than any win Crawford or Spence has in 2018. Pac is not done yet. Not by a long shot. So there are a couple of main options that we can talk about. The two that come to mind are going to be at the top of everyone's mind. We'll get into Terrence Crawford. We don't think he's going to make that fight. It's been rumored for years now that those two could fight. There was a time when Pacquiao was still with Top Rank that there would be a natural changing of the guard as Top Rank's king. Crawford would come in, destroy Pacquiao, and he would be the face of Top Rank. He'd be their pay-per-view king. Pacquiao's no longer with Top Rank, so he didn't want to make that fight then. I can't see him wanting to make that fight now, although he may have a whole new level of confidence. He may have said, hey, I just destroyed Lucas Matisse. Knocked him down 3 times. My power is for real. I see something in Terrence Crawford. I don't know what it is, but I see something in Terrence Crawford. I can expose. I can beat that guy. That's one option. I don't think that's going to happen next. The other option that everyone talks about, Lomachenko. This is a real possibility. This is a real possibility, and this may happen at the end of the year. Lomachenko's going to have a choice. He can try to unify with the winner of Pedraza and Beltran later this year, or he could try to take the Pacquiao fight. Does he want the unification, or does he want the legacy fight? Because he'll beat Beltran, and let's say Beltran, because I think Beltran will dispose of Pedraza. Good fight, unification fight. It'll set up a logical, undisputed fight for Lomachenko with Mikey Garcia in 2019. Or does Loma want to go to 147 or somewhere in between 140 and 147 and fight Pacquiao for the WBA regular welterweight strap? He's going to have that choice. If Lomachenko wants that fight and Pacquiao wants that fight, it'll happen because it's a massive payday. It's a pay-per-view fight. It'll probably do 500,000 pay-per-view sales. Right? It'll be a hot ticket. So if both fighters want that fight to happen, that's the next fight. Let us know what you think. You guys think we're on to something, or do you think that we are way off on this? The other option, a couple other options I should say that we want to talk about. Adrian Broner. I hear the chuckles already whenever I say AB. He signed a 5-fight, $50 million contract. Allegedly, both him and Floyd have said that with Mayweather Promotions. Floyd didn't sign that to give him a bunch of gimmies. When he signed that, we said that fight probably ends up with him fighting Lomachenko or Tank Davis. Or possibly Pacquiao. The Pacquiao fight is now real. It's a highly entertaining fight. The build-up would be great. Broner's a draw. Besides Deontay Wilder, he's the biggest draw of any American fighter right now. He just is. I know that's because people don't think he's very good. He's overrated. He's never really beat a top-notch fighter. He beat Paulie Malignaggi and Antonio DeMarco, and the Malignaggi win was questionable. And how good was DeMarco really at 135? So people have a lot of questions about how good Broner is. If there's one thing Broner can do, it's sell tickets. He can sell tickets no matter where he goes. That being next, Broner and Pacquiao being next is a real possibility. Pacquiao's his own promoter. Literally, Manny Pacquiao Promotions. He's going to go take the biggest fight that he can get money-wise. He's at the very end of his career. He may be 40, or he'll be right next to 40 the next time he fights. The Broner fight's a real possibility. It's not the fight that we would want to see, although it's an okay fight. I mean, we want to keep one thing in mind. Broner fought to a draw with Jesse Vargas. Pacquiao absolutely dismantled Jesse Vargas. So we would pick Pacquiao to beat Broner. Now, I know A plus B doesn't always equal C in boxing. We get that. But Pacquiao would beat him in punch output. He'd be just as fast as him. That's a really bad fight for Broner. We think Pacquiao would pick up another win there. And if you're Broner, you take the fight because I can beat this old man on pay-per-view and get a huge payday. Yeah, that makes sense for Broner to take it too. So that fight makes a lot of sense. If Lomachenko opts to fight Beltran at the end of the year, then that leaves Pacquiao with an open date. and we think it's going to be Broner. Our first guess would be Loma, but if Loma takes a different path, which is possible, then it's going to be AB. Neither of those really are the fights that we want. The fight that we want is Keith one-time Thurman. Does Keith Thurman come back to fight Pacquiao? He recently said in an interview, well, there's no more Manny Pacquiao. There's no more huge mega paydays. There's no more Floyd. There's no more Manny Pacquiao. There's not that guy right now who gives you a huge payday. Guess what? There's a Manny Pacquiao again. A Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao pay-per-view fight would be huge. It would be huge. It would be an event. It would have the WBA champion against whatever the hell Keith Thurman is at this point. It would be the past versus the present. And it would be a great fight. And it's a fight that, believe it or not, yes, we would lean towards Manny Pacquiao. And it's not hating on Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman hasn't really carried the same power as he moved up in competition. As he's fought the elite level fighters, he hasn't really knocked any of them out. He's not really one time anymore. He's really split decision time now. Pacquiao just showed that he carries the power at 47. He carries it against an elite level fighter. He's fast. He's athletic. We think he'd outwork Keith Thurman. That's a bad fight. And look, Keith Thurman could win the fight. He's got the legs. He's got the power. He's a really good fighter. He's a highly skilled fighter, highly athletic fighter. He could get the win in that fight. We would lean, and this is not an official prediction, but we would lean towards Pacquiao in that fight. The other option is Amir Khan. And I don't know if Eddie wants to do that right now because a loss for Amir Khan would be the end of Amir Khan. And now Khan's wanted this fight for almost a decade now, 6, 7, 8 years. He's wanted to fight Pacquiao. They know each other really well from all the years they spent together at the Wild Card Gym. And again, that's a fight we would lean towards Pacquiao in. Khan may win rounds, he may do well, and we think we'd get to a point in the mid-round where Pacquiao would hit that chin and it'd be all over for Khan. We don't think that Khan could stand up to Pacquiao for 12 rounds. If he could win a decision, because Khan can outbox anyone. It's not a knock on Khan. But we don't think that fight's realistic. I know a lot of you think that may be his next move. I don't see Fast Car Eddie the scumbag, putting him in the ring with Pacquiao. He's got to fight in Samuel Vargas. You don't go from Samuel Vargas to Manny Pacquiao. He wants to put him in there with light punchers, guys that can't knock him out. We can get into it on another show who Khan fights after Vargas, but it ain't going to be Pacquiao in my estimation. So those are the real options. Let us know who you think he'll fight and who you want to see him fight. 3D Boxing, we're saying he fights either Lomachenko or Broner next, but we really want to see him fight Keith Thurman next. Regis Prograis put on a real entertaining show last night and stopping Juan Jose Velasquez. Prograis is a really fun, really entertaining fighter, and he dominated the lesser opponent. I mean, unleashing a Rocky Balboa type body attack, dropping him with body shots 3 times. Not too often do you see one guy get dropped by a body shot on 3 occasions in one fight. And again, the worst ref in the sport, Lawrence Cole, let the fight go on way too long. They should have stopped the fight after the 6th, but he let it go on into the 7th. And then he got up and let him take some more punishment after being knocked down in the 7th. Just an embarrassing job, as always, by Lawrence Cole. Thank you for all that you don't do. It's just, I get furious every time I see Lawrence Cole. How does he keep getting jobs? And this wasn't even in Texas where he's from. This was in Louisiana. So they imported the worst referee to ref the biggest fight they've had in New Orleans in years. Lawrence Cole is an embarrassment to boxing, and he's an embarrassment to his great state of Texas. Our home state, by the way, also. Remember, Lawrence Cole was the ref that told Juan Manuel Marquez in a fight in Houston that after an accidental headbutt that he was ahead on the scorecards. So if he wanted to go to the scorecards, if he wanted the fight to stop, he'd win. You can't do that. I mean, Marquez wanted and let the fight continue, but come on. If you can fight, you can fight. The scorecards have nothing to do with it. So, I mean, that's the type of human being you're dealing with Lawrence Cole. But Prograis, let's get back to the positive. Put on a real good show. So many superstars of Louisiana there. LSU and NFL star Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. Leonard Fournette was there. And Rougarou, I guess that's what they're calling him. That's some type of Louisiana beast pond swamp animal thing is what they call Prograis. He delivered, boy. Again, we said we weren't going to prove anything in this fight, and he didn't. Everything we saw with Prograis, we already knew he could do. Beating up on Velasco doesn't do much for him, except showcase him. But if you didn't know Prograis was good, if you knew Prograis was good before the fight, nothing should have really changed your opinion, right? We don't know how excellent he is. We know that he's good, but beating Velasco up like that showed one thing. That Velasco's a really tough guy. Outside of that, it didn't show much. So what we do know about Prograis is he's got really good head movement. He's a come-forward fighter. He's relentless. He jabs his way in. I don't want to say defensively he's great because he does drop his hands a bit, but he's got good head movement. He can avoid punches really well. And he's got the relentlessness and the power to stop anyone in the division. So he's got a couple of options here. He could go fight Pacquiao potentially. He could do that. Or he could go to the World Boxing Super Series, which is what he's on par to do now. Good names in that. Josh Taylor, of course. Relic, Ivan Barancek. Some good names. If he could run through that, then we can start the pound-for-pound chatter with Regis Prograis. But to talk about Regis Prograis, the top 10 pound-for-pound fighter right now, is a little silly. He hasn't even won a legitimate world title. He has an interim belt for the WBC. Ramirez has the real one. So, look, let's just calm down. I'm excited about him, too. I think there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of ability. He's a personable guy. Fan-friendly style. He's not just a power puncher. He's got excellent head movement. The comparisons to Triple G are going to start, and they're fair. They're fair comparisons. And look, Triple G built a legacy off of beating a bunch of bums too, right? So if Prograis fights 8 more bums and knocks out 8 more bums in a row, okay, maybe he is the next Triple G. But I don't think that's the path he's going to take. Right? He's 29 already. I think he wants to move pretty quickly. He's in this tournament, so he's not going to get a bunch of easy fights. Like I said, Relic. Tough fight. I mean, that's a tough fight right there. Josh Taylor. That's a tough fight. Now, we'd pick him to win the tournament. We do think he's the best 140 pounder in the world, but he needs to prove that. And there's only one way to prove that, by fighting in this tournament. Or he could go to 147 and fight Manny Pacquiao, which he's probably as big as Manny Pacquiao, so he wouldn't be at a size disadvantage. That would be a really interesting fight. Let us know what you want to see Prograis do next. Do you want to see him fight in the World Boxing Super Series, or do you want to see him try to cash in on a payday and get a mega fight with Manny Pacquiao? Last item on the docket, Teofimo Lopez. A massively entertaining performance in New Orleans on the undercard. Just this kid really set the world on fire last night. He's so athletic, so strong, so powerful. I know everyone absolutely loves this kid, and I do too. He's a complete offensive fighter. And I'm not knocking him. Tremendously talented, tremendously gifted at only 20 years old. Right? Still just a baby. Plenty of time to improve. However, I'm gonna keep it real. He's not a defensively good fighter. You put him in there with a world-class counterpuncher, he's in trouble. He is so wide open when he comes forward. He is so wide open on his combinations that a world-class counterpuncher, of course, it'll have to be, we're talking about like a Juan Manuel Marquez type, right? Somebody who can time him perfectly is going to eat his lunch for him. They're going to eat his food for him. So, this thing that he's going to be a world champion by the end of the year, which is his plan, it seems to be Bob Arum's plan, let's just tap the brakes on that. All right, he's in a weight class right now that is absolutely loaded. Mikey Garcia is going to hold 2 of the 4 belts. Lomachenko holds another one. So there's only one other belt. And we don't think that he's even remotely ready for either Mikey Garcia or Lomachenko. Let us know what you think. Do you think he is competitive or can beat either of those 2 guys? I don't think so. That leaves one other belt, the WBO, which is now held by Beltran, who fights Pedraza. If Lomachenko opts to fight that guy, opts to get the winner of that fight next, then there's only 2 champions, and we don't think he can beat either one of them. If Lomachenko takes a different path, the WBO is available. He could get the WBO. It's not guaranteed. He'd beat Pedraza. So if Pedraza beats Beltran, yeah, he's got a path to the WBO. If Beltran wins, which we expect him to, Beltran's a good fighter. That is not a layup. That is not an easy fight. Beltran, he's got good power. He's a good stalker, good skills. He can make life a living nightmare for a lot of good fighters. Now, we would probably lean toward Teofimo Lopez in such a fight. He's too athletic and too young for him. But, God, that'd be a competitive fight. Gosh, that'd be a competitive fight. Let us know what you think. Could Teofimo Lopez beat Beltran? Or who would you like to see him fight next? Do you think he'll be ready for a world title by the end of this year, next year? Do you think he could ever beat Lomachenko or Mikey Garcia? Because I don't think so. If he stays in this weight class with Mikey and Loma, and Mikey and Loma hold on to their belts, I don't see Teofimo Lopez winning any world titles at this weight class. So let us know what you think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. For Sunday Morning Champion, this is 3D Boxing signing off. Thank you, and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.